As early as 1898, when the British colonial government constructed the first railroad in Nigeria, the importance of alternative means of transport for people and cargo had been registered. Unfortunately, the trend of development was not followed for a long time, and the sector seemed to lose all forms of activity until 2006, when the federal government renewed efforts to resuscitate the sector. Today, some level of activity is recorded. The latest development is the Kano-Port Harcourt service, which runs from Kano State every Thursday and leaves Port Harcourt back to Kano every Tuesday. And this is not low on demand since it started in July 2015.
As of this moment, I prefer using train because it is so comfortable. I don't have any problem if I join train, moving train. So I don't have any problem. I better join it than taxi or bus. And also it is too cheap if you join it.
It prevents someone's delay on the road, because when you go there will be no delay on the road. There's no vehicle that will cause any delay. And it avoids armed robbery, because once you enter directly and you see yourself in a station.
The Director of Operations hints on some of the expected developments for the year.
We do run quite a number of passenger and freight services all over the country. I'm sure you'd have seen our train service here in Lagos, where we run 18 trains a day between Ido, Apapa and Ijoko, which carries about 22,000 passengers on a daily basis. We also have services all over the country. As we speak, we run train services between Aba and Port Harcourt. We call it the Aba Port Harcourt Mass Transit Train, which was commissioned last month by the Honorable Minister of Transport. That runs 4 times a day between Aba and Port Harcourt. We have the Lagos to Kano train service. We have the Lagos to Ilorin train service. We have the Offa to Kano train service. There's the Port Harcourt to Kano train service. There's the Zaria to Karanamuda train services. And these are just passenger services that are crisscross the whole of the country as we speak. And in terms of freight, every train that leaves the port carries at least 20 40-foot containers in one go. We carry 600 bags of cement per wagon, and we carry about 15 to 20 wagons per rake, all the way to Minna, Kaduna, Kano, Osogbo, places like that. So, is the market share enough? The answer I would say to that is no. A lot of work needs to be done to get more trailers off the road. We need to, to improve upon our reliability, our availability, and also our capacity.
Recently also, new coaches on the Ido-Idoko route in Lagos were launched to give comfort and attract a new class of passengers.
In the Lagos metropolis here, for example, we have what we call the DMU. These are the diesel multiple unit trains. Basically, these trains are fully air conditioned. They look like the kind of trains you enter in England. And they're designed specifically to attract what I call a segment of Nigerians that are not used to rail travel. We are actually succeeding in that we are now even developing what we call park and ride facilities. So what we encourage the so-called middle class to do, and it's happening now, is you drive to the station, you park your car, you get your ticket, you board the train, you go to work, leave your work, get back on the train, pick up your car and drive home.
Not leaving out the need to secure lives and property while on board.
Talking about railway assets, we're all aware of the security challenges we faced last year, and we have actually put in quite a number of security measures all over the place, starting from Ido, which we have just visited. That is our flagship station. It's a terminus. We have a deployment of policemen there, armed policemen. We have a man-o' war, which is a security outfit of NRC, scanning all passengers before boarding the train, ensuring that all the goods and luggages are being scanned and checked properly before we load them into our baggage vans.
and many more progress planned for the future.
All right, the first thing I'll say is, like I said earlier, on the Kaduna-Abuja high-speed standard gauge railway line will be commissioned this year. We will commence services on that railway. And the Honourable Minister of Transport has also, publicly stated that the priority will be standard gauge construction in Nigeria, with the coastal line, the Lagos to Calabar line, and the Lagos to Kano high-speed lines. And as we speak, plans are being put into conclusion about how to fund and build these lines. So, that is the priority for the current administration in terms of railway development here in Nigeria. There's the 25-year strategic vision for the railway here in Nigeria, which is being implemented as we speak. The long-term plan, you can well imagine, is to connect every port, every airport, every state capital to the rail network here in Nigeria. Obviously, that requires quite a substantive amount of investment and capital expenditure, which the current government is putting in place.
The decline in the rail before now could be traced to maintenance. Compulsorily, therefore, there should be a plan to cater for this.
At the moment, we do have a substantive number of workshops, maintenance facilities all over Nigeria. The railway industry in Nigeria used to be one of the biggest employers historically. We still have a lot of those expertise here in Nigeria. Most of our maintenance is done in-house. And part of what we do when we acquire new technology is to ensure that there's what I call handover period. There's also a transfer of knowledge clause in all contracts to ensure that the technology that is being imported can then be maintained here in Nigeria. And that in that process, obviously, we're going to be creating jobs for Nigerians. So, yes, I will say that, there is the capability to maintain and ensure the functionality of our facilities here in Nigeria.
Brighter days ahead, going by the promises of the government. Talk to us on Big Story. Until next time, I'm Ini Thompson.